Let's talk about Spike and Vash, the two characters that were revealed today at Gen Con. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to be giving away a box of Undaunted Raid, and I'll be going into the rules behind that competition. If you're only interested in the competition for the box, skip ahead to the end of this video, because at the beginning, I'm going to be talking about these two really cool characters that we had revealed today, Spike and Vash. All right, Vash the Stampede. First, before I get into these characters, let me just say that these are only prototypes. It was confirmed that these are not the finalized characters. So I think we can assume that the text on the characters is accurate, but that the art is not finalized, which makes me really happy because I think the art on Vash is fine. I think the art on Spike is terrible. And, it just is what it is. Whereas, we took away the title of the card so that we could have more room for art, and yet 33% of this card is blank. So I suspect that these characters will be looking quite different. When we saw Hawks revealed, Hawks filled up the entire card from top to bottom and side to side, and he looked really sweet. So I have no doubt that when these characters actually come out, they will be looking amazing. Personally, I am not a fan of the art as it stands. But we're not here to talk about the art today. Let's talk about the text. Vash gets Tenacious, Mill 1. These are two new kind of keywords that we get. I suppose they're not keywords, but they're new words that we get, where Tenacious means playable while committed, and Mill means discard the top card of your deck. Very cool. This kind of makes me wonder, are we going to be getting any other new keywords like this in future sets? But your attack gets +2 speed. So +2 speed on everything, very neat. And then enhanced, discard 1 attack, draw 3 cards. So you have to get rid of an attack, then you get to draw 3. So you're basically an 8-hander every turn. So he reminds me of All Might 3, where he's a 6-hander that's really an 8-hander. But All Might 3 has to commit himself and commit a foundation to draw 2 cards. Vash only has to commit himself, but he is having to discard an attack. So in all likelihood, he is not going to be drawing 2 out of 3. He's not going to be drawing 2 attacks when he's only drawing 3 cards. So he's like a slightly worse All Might 3 in my opinion. Maybe he's equally as good. He's kind of like boring in some ways in that he's getting +2 speed on everything, but he's not getting to mess around with your opponent's hand size. So there's a little bit less of that interactive play. Whereas when you're playing All Might 3, your opponent is doing a lot of math in their head on how many cards they're keeping in hand, especially if they're a 7-hander. So that kind of adds to the fun. So I think Vash is a little more boring, but then he's also a little more fun where he's having to discard an attack, and so there's a little more variability there. So, maybe he's not worse or better, maybe he's just different. But he reminds me of All Might 3. And you'll notice that we don't see symbols on these characters yet. We don't know that yet. And then Spike, Bounty Hunter, gets flip 1 foundation. If this attack deals damage, draw 1 card. So he has to flip before he knows if it's going to deal damage. But a lot of times he's going to be doing this anyway because of this second enhance. Your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage for every 3 face-down foundations in your stage. This is extraordinary. It doesn't have a maximum. I would think there would say a maximum +3/+3, but it doesn't say that. So if this guy gets to 12 face-down foundations, he's giving everything +4/+4. That's an insane rate just for free on every single attack. Basically, you're just dead if Spike gets to 12 face-down foundations. However, then he doesn't have any face-up foundations. He reminds me of Cementos a little bit, where, sometimes you think the goal is just to sprint to face-down foundations, but then you lose the benefit of your stage and you die pretty easily. And so you kind of have to weigh the benefits and the downsides of flipping your entire board and getting the damage pump, and the Cementos was increasing his hand size. So I think Spike probably won't be killing people on turn 2, but I think he will be killing a lot of people on turn 3. I think he's the ultimate turn 3 aggro character, but he definitely could play a longer game if he chose to do so. But I'm just really surprised there's no maximum on that second enhance. I could see Spike being very powerful. I could honestly see both of these characters seeing play in tournaments. I don't think either one of them is weak. And the fact that Spike has 29 health is kind of insane to me. So what's their symbols? I'm going to jump into my best guess for these two characters. Vash, I think, has to be good. We know that he's like a pacifist. Okay, so I've only watched 3 episodes of Cowboy Bebop and 2 episodes of Trigun Stampede. So I'm not the most familiar with these characters, but I know that Vash is a pacifist who really doesn't like harming people, and he's always putting others before himself. So I have to assume that he's on the good symbol. I'm also going to put him as a chaos symbol because he's not afraid to stand up to authority. He's kind of like a trickster. He's, if I had to describe him, it would definitely be, well, he's a chaotic good. And so chaos and good just kind of naturally go together, I think, for Vash. And then I think he would also have the fire symbol because he's doing this mill strategy. And we see a lot of mill characters being on the fire symbol. We see Endeavor 1, who gets stronger as his discard pile fills up. We see Shoto Todoroki 1, who is milling himself and getting stronger as his discard pile gets bigger. We get All Might 2, who mills himself for +2 damage and another +2 if his last attack was blocked. So he just fits really well with the fire symbol. I'm not sure if that actually fits with his personality or his character in the show. I just think from a design standpoint, it makes sense for him to be on the fire symbol. As for Spike, we've already seen 2 Spikes in the past with the game. This is back in Standard. We see a 724 health, and he's on Death, Life, and Water. And then we also see 628 health, Death, Life, and Air. So it seems like this death and life are pretty consistent, so I don't expect things to change here. So I'm going to go ahead and put Spike on the death and life symbols. If I had to guess for a third symbol, he's doing all these things, flipping his stage. So that just fits design-wise with the earth symbol. I think maybe if he was given the earth symbol, he would actually be too good of a character. He would be too powerful, maybe a little overpowered. But it just makes sense, which symbol loves face downs? It's the earth symbol. So the first 2 of both of these kind of go with their character, and then the last one of both of these just go from a design standpoint. But what are your chosen symbols for these 2 characters, and what do you think? Just let me know in the comments. But let's get to the giveaway. Okay, here's the rules. Make a UVS Ultra Spike or Vash deck on any symbol. Any symbol. You choose the symbol. Make a deck for Spike or Vash. And I want you to title your UVS Ultra deck the symbol and then the character. So like it would say Chaos Vash or Death Spike. And then send the deck link to me using the Google form in the description below of this video. And then I will judge the list based on A, viability, and 2, creativity. And then the deadline will be the day that I reach 100 subscribers, or minimum of 1 week. So you'll at least have until this time next week. If I'm not at 100 quite yet, then it might take longer. Right now I'm at 66. And then the prize will be, I will send you a sealed box of Undaunted Raid. So here's an example list for like Earth Spike. You can see I'm on this generic Earth Punches package with a little bit of Red Guard and a little bit of Naval Laser Beam to be flipping foundations. And then Snack Time to take advantage of how much Spike draws, seizing the advantage to get more face-down foundations, Pull No Punches to be putting things into momentum, Prehensile Tail to pull that momentum back, Tight-Lipped to flip our entire board, It Can't Be Fixed, Male Bonding to flip our board. And this is just a pretty basic list. So if I was judging this list, I would say like 8 out of 10 on viability, but 2 out of 10 on creativity. So that's it for today. Good luck with the competition. I'm really excited to see everybody's lists, and give it your absolute best shot.